Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the Jimmy and Eden podcast. We are joined today not by Jimmy. He had a family emergency and couldn't record right now, but he'll be back next week. But we are joined today with Alexis Cozombolidis, as well as some extremely special guests, Warren Ryberg, my boyfriend, and Brett. I don't know his last name, Alexis's boyfriend.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing?
We're good. We just finished a big breakfast, so we're pretty good.
Yeah. We are doing a very special episode, a Valentine's Day episode, since we are both joined by our boyfriends. And we took a bunch of questions from our listeners, and we're going to answer some questions about love and Valentine's Day and see how that goes. So, do you guys just want to get right into it?
Sure, that sounds fun.
All right. So our first question comes from Anonymous. A lot of these questions are anonymous because people don't like talking about their love lives. Apparently.
Nobody wants to own up to asking these questions, I guess.
That's pretty fair, I think.
Yeah. So the first question comes from Anonymous. Okay. I have been seeing this girl off and on for about 3 weeks now. And at first, it was going really well. However, now she is constantly texting me about random things. Yesterday, she sent me 35 messages. I think I like her in person, but I don't know how to get her to stop constantly messaging me. How do I approach this? I don't want her to think I don't like her.
It sounds like she's probably jumping a bit ahead in like the comfort level of a typical boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Like she's a little ahead of schedule, I think, and that's probably making this guy a little uncomfortable, and maybe she's uncomfortable with the silence or just the frequency of communication. So I would say she should get more in-person time with him.
Yeah, I almost think that like if I'm texting somebody a lot, it's because I don't know where we're at and I'm uncomfortable and I just want to like kind of figure it out. So probably just have a conversation and see, you know, where your relationship is and what's going on and what level of intimacy you want to approach.
Yeah, from the guy's perspective, I wouldn't need that. I think that's adding to the problem. It's gonna put even more pressure on the guy.
That's not exactly what I would do either. But I think, like Brett said, they're not really on the same page, I guess. Kind of seems like he's, trying to take things a little slower, like, oh yeah, we'll hang out in person and stuff like that. But she's like, nope, I am sending you 1 million messages a day. We are official now. We are very close.
We are exclusive.
And
exactly. Like, I'll share my deepest, darkest secrets. And he's just kind of like, I'm kind of busy from the hours of like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'll see you after that.
Yeah.
So what should he do though? Because he doesn't want to. It says that he doesn't want to seem like he doesn't like her because he does.
Well, what should?
But he's obviously uncomfortable.
Yeah. I guess if the onus is sort of on him to act, he probably having that conversation is good. That'll be hard for both of them. But yeah, I think he's gotta tell her to pump the brakes a little bit.
I say, you know what? Like, if you like her, who cares? Just let her text away. Like, not a big deal.
But he doesn't like this, and it's just going to eat at him over time.
I mean, they're just text messages. It's not like she's, like, popping up in his life 35 times a day. Just in text. It's like...
Yes.
Maybe, like, every time she texts you, just call her, and then eventually she'll probably get it equally as annoyed.
That's a good passive-aggressive tactic.
But what's his holdup about answering back to her text messages? What's the big deal?
I don't know. I don't personally like texting all that much.
With her yet.
What? 3 weeks? That's
3 weeks. That's like 2 dates.
Off and on for 3 weeks.
Kidding? That's crazy.
They've already broken up once.
Twice. A stranger.
Yeah.
She's texting me all the time. I'm done. It's like run.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he could say something like, "Oh, yeah, I'm really busy." Like, I don't know if he's say at work during the day and can't get to her messages, and just say, "Oh, I'm really busy. Like, I'll give you a call after work or something."
Though, if he's not legit busy and he's just like, "Hey, this is I'm not ready for you to text me about every tiny little thing about your day. Like, let's get comfortable with each other first." and don't.
I think
start...
it's kind of common though too to like just not like text messaging. Like I personally don't text that much.
Yeah.
So just to say like, hey, I'm not really into texting, but do you want to set up a time to hang out?
But yeah,
That's a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. The more
I don't know if that's
punt to in
passive-aggressive
person
too,
more.
but-
Yeah. I don't know.
I vote for Eden's response.
Yeah, that's probably the best. You're right. That's probably the best easy approach.
There you go, Anonymous. We just figured out your problem.
Especially since we don't know if Anonymous is afraid of confrontation or not.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Another one from Anonymous, and it's from a lady. I've been dating someone for 4 years. We live together now, and he says he loves me, yet he never mentions marriage. Do you think there is something wrong?
Why are you two
Warren and I have
giggling?
been-
You guys are giggling awfully hard at this question.
Warren and I have been dating 5 years, and we don't want to get married, so it's kind of hard for me to say something about this.
I think there's definitely
Or wait, do you?
a red... Oh.
What?
She just goes,
I just
"Do
think-
you?"
From reading this question, it seems like, so she is expecting, oh, we should be getting married right about now, and maybe he doesn't feel the same way, and that's fine. If they're living together and he says he loves her, I personally don't see what the issue is. I mean, if she's kind of expecting the whole marriage thing, that's what happens now. I don't know how you kind of approach that subject. Like Eden said, we're kind of on the same page. Like, not that we both don't want to get married, but we both see it as it's not a necessary step in the relationship. Obviously, we live together. We've been dating for over 5 years now, and we don't feel obligated that we just have to get married now just because that's what you do at this stage in your life. So
I want to know how old this person is, if like their biological clock is ticking, or why they want to get married so quick.
Or she's like 19 and she's like, I just want to get married.
Well, I think for most women, it's it's a pretty important thing. I mean, for some men too, but I think in particular, it's like really validating for women, or like comforting, and
yeah, like a lot of them.
So I mean, I don't know if maybe she is not being very vocal or direct about, even if it's just like talking about what she wants from life, and in the near future and further out, that will, if she wants him to speak to her about that kind of stuff, I think the topic has to come up more, and she can put him on the spot, or she can kind of be more relaxed about it.
Yeah, I think it's Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think there's anything, like she asked, is there anything, do you think there's something wrong? Well, I definitely don't think there's anything wrong by him never mentioning marriage. Has she ever brought up the idea, how do you feel about marriage?
Why
Scary
can't
for dudes
girls
too.
propose to dudes? Like, she should just propose, go buy a ring.
Warren, how would
Yeah,
you
why
feel
not?
about that if Eden just proposed?
I don't know.
Hey, sweetie.
No comment.
All right, let's move on before this gets any worse. We have a question from Neil G.
Oh, yeah, Neil. Do you remember him from Life in 24 Frames?
Now you're gonna make me look like an asshole. I don't remember him.
Oh.
I'll edit that out. He's also known on Twitter as Saint Gabriel7,
Oh.
and he asks, how do you talk to a girl if she's at her work? Is it okay to try and flirt or get a number? You text her 35 times a day and just make sure that she's okay.
Yeah. Are you still okay? Checking.
I'm
Okay,
eating
good.
toast.
Oh, it's definitely okay to flirt, get a number at work. I think. Maybe if he works directly for her or her for him, it's a little bit. You got to be a little more careful. But I think it's super common. People meet significant others at work now,
Yeah.
especially post college.
I think you have to be a little bit more careful about it, like, and also consider, like, if it's like your job, if you're just like working at McDonald's and you have the hots for the fry lady, or versus like your career, like you're probably gonna stay at your career job a lot longer than the other one.
Yeah.
So kind of weigh the pros and cons and go into it very delicately.
Yeah, you're inviting crossover drama either way. for sure. So how much do you care about the job is a big deal.
Yeah, like don't treat your workplace like a place to, meet future spouses, but at the same time, obviously it happens quite often. People spend a lot of their time, in their life at work, so you're going to meet people who likely have similar interests, things like that. So absolutely, I think it's fine to flirt and things like that.
Try to hang out with them outside of work and see if you still like them too, because a lot of times people put on like their work persona, which is completely different and maybe even more positive than their at-home persona, and just try to make that relationship there and not in the workplace. Like, don't, ask her if she wants to go hang out in the lunchroom as your first date.
Eden, you're like a dating expert over here. You've had like really good responses to every single question.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, I've learned a lot. You're like really good at this.
Am I?
Sure.
Am I practically good at it though?
I guess so. It's been working so far.
Do you want to get married?
Not right now.
Okay.
All right.
But going back to that question, I don't know. I think the workplace is a very tricky place, like you said, there's a lot of crossover drama, and I think girls tend to put their guards down a little bit at work because you're not there to date. So
yeah.
I think it's tricky. I think it's tricky to infiltrate that kind of the different wall that girls have put up in the workplace.
Yeah. Me specifically, I'm a computer science student and a developer, whatever. And so I work in like a highly male dominated field. And so like immediately I have my guard up, like, no, I am here we can have fun and we can work together and we can talk about coding and stuff, but we are not dating and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And if a girl is giving off that vibe, don't try it. It's just going to blow up in your face.
Exactly. So that's the only advice I think I have to give about that, is just tread carefully because you're walking a very fine line. So.
Yeah. What do you think? Have you ever dated somebody you worked with?
Not really. Like you guys were saying though, like, yeah, it's tricky at times because obviously, if you're coworkers or something, you're going to be, friendly enough since you work with them. They're going to have to help you out with, whether it's projects or assignments or whatever. You kind of need to know to not take that work-friendly atmosphere as like, oh, she's actually like, genuinely interested in me and romantically and things like that. So
yeah,
that can be the tricky part of balancing. Oh, she likes me as a coworker versus she likes me as a potential mate.
Yeah, or she's just trying to be polite and charming. And I think a lot
Exactly.
of girls in particular work extra hard at that at work, especially in male-dominated workplaces. And yeah, it's easy to send the wrong signal or pick up the wrong signal.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but even if you go to like a networking event of any sort, everybody, if you didn't know what was going on, it would seem like everybody's flirting with each other extremely hard.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to differentiate flirting between just respect for each other's work a lot of the time for me.
Have you ever dated someone at work? Silence. Silence and an eye roll.
Yeah.
I did once right before Warren and I started dating, and I don't recommend it.
Really?
Because we broke up while we were still working together. I was also like 17, and like my boss was always asking questions like, how's your dating going? Are you guys not working together well because you're fighting or something? And it's like, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's just like a bad situation to be in. So try to keep it as separate from work as possible, in my opinion. Let's move on. I have always wanted to date a girl that is interested in video games. How do I go about finding one?
Good luck.
This was a question from Anonymous. This wasn't just Eden professing her deepest, darkest secrets.
Like,
Yeah.
hi Eden, I'm Alexis. I play video games.
That's
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm winking at her through the microphone.
it's a big swath of Generation Y. You're competing with buddy, chasing video game girls. I don't know. I think there's definitely more of them now than just like 5 years ago. Or I don't know whether it's just because games have become more popular or just better content for stuff that girls like. But yeah, I don't know. I guess probably help to work in games or just be around a lot of people who are like that's their life.
Yeah.
I say go to E3, put a net out, see what happens.
He's gonna hit on booth babes.
So
and
you
shut
have to
down
get
really
into
quick.
games journalism, get a press pass to go to E3, and then do what I just recommended against not doing, and find a bunch of girls in your industry.
Yeah,
and date them.
exactly.
He's gonna hit on the E3 booth babes, and a lot of them are professionals in other ways.
They have their guards up. Yeah.
For sure.
I have an idea. Find girls with pictures of Xboxes on their Instagram, and then like all the photos they posted themselves.
Ooh.
Oh goodness,
That's a good idea.
So that's actually a good question though. Would you be flattered in a way that actually made you interested in somebody who just liked all your Instagram photos, or would you be like, this is a weird stalker?
Alexis does that to me.
I like
So-
all her selfies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask
I
you out
don't.
one
I don't
day,
think
Eden.
Alexis is chasing you. Maybe. But seriously, if a guy was doing guys are creepier though. So if a guy was doing that, would
Yeah.
that creep you out?
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean that happens,
Yeah.
and you notice it. I don't at this
And you don't
point.
think like I'm gonna
just
DM
like,
this guy and see if like. I mean, obviously you're in a relationship, but like, put your single hat on. You think like, would you
When
even
I'm done
think
with
of
Warren-
responding that way?
Some people do actually. Like a girl at
Yeah.
work, like she's met a lot of her friends through social media.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the guys that like every single one of your posts or retweet your stuff. I don't know.
Jimmy does that
like
to me,
this.
but like we're
Well,
friends,
it's kinda
and
like
like I know
boyfriend
where the
duty,
boundaries
too,
are.
right?
Sometimes it has like if it's like Twitter and they respond to every single one of my tweets. Sometimes that'll be like it'll start a conversation, and then that can lead into friendship. And
Yeah.
maybe if I was single, it would lead into something else. But if you're just like liking things,
So
like
it's
as
so,
soon as you see them, it's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it's just like
to
a
me.
lurker, Like say something.
Yeah.
Be interesting in some other way.
Yeah, it seems like if a guy went through, a girl's Instagram photos and liked every single one of them, that just screams creepiness to me. Like,
Yeah.
but
I totally agree.
Do girls do that to you?
girls do it all the time to me. Yeah, it's the worst. Like,
Who?
Who?
Oh, I lost the question. What was the question again?
yeah.
Okay, I'll read
I don't
it
even
again.
remember what we were talking about.
It was
I've
how do
always
you meet
wanted to date a
video
girl that
game
is
girl, right?
interested in video games.
Yeah.
How do I go about finding one?
Yeah, I actually think probably the easiest or best way, like the highest success way, is just meet a girl and introduce her to video games. Because video games are awesome. most
Yeah.
girls, if you take the time to actually find out what I mean, everybody has diverse tastes in video games, but if you take the time to learn what somebody likes, oh, they're fun. They're a great part of life.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of video games that you don't have to be like a hardcore gamer and play 4 hours a night on Xbox Live or PlayStation Online or anything like that to be considered a girl who's interested in video games. Like there's certain games that it's basically just like an interactive movie. So what's the difference of if you sit down and play through a game like The Last of Us for an hour or two one night versus watching people binge watch shows like Breaking Bad or movies all the time. It's really just a different medium for that kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
So.
On the other end of the spectrum, from like sort of interactive movies, I introduced her to Flappy Bird last night. She's already I can't even touch her scores. She's insanely good at it, and It's an infuriating game for me.
That game is ridiculously addicting. Like, I think I woke up at like 4 a.m. and started playing it and was just like, I have to play. I have to beat it. Like,
What day is it?
yeah,
Have I showered in a week?
Yeah, I refuse to let my friends have any higher scores than me. Not in this game.
Yeah, you were like that.
I'm
with
like
Subway
that too.
Surfers.
I'm super like obsessive with like competition against him. If there's a game that I'm decent at, then I'm just like, nope, you will not have the highest score.
Yeah.
You will not. It's not happening. And I'm gonna play this 34 hours a
Oh
day.
my goodness.
You know what? Okay, so Brett and I, this is a funny story actually, which should make Anonymous rethink about having a significant other that likes playing video games. Because
Yeah, sometimes it's not all fun and games.
it's not all fun and games. So when GTA 5 came out, Brett and I were like, okay, let's play this game together. It's going to be so fun, a fun activity for us to do. So we started playing it at his house. And then when I would go home at nights, like, I'd be like, okay, I know where we saved it. Do not play along like without me. Then I'd get back, like half the game would be done. And I'd be like, what? You played on? So, yeah, that's not always a good time. I'd get
Fun
so
for me.
mad at him. Yeah.
Next question. I have been friends with a girl that I have feelings for nearly 3 months now. I'd like to tell her that I want something more, but I'm afraid that I've been friend zoned. How do you know if you're in the friend zone, and how do you escape it?
Kiss her.
That's the fastest way to find out.
Is that why you?
And you
kissed
know
me
what?
the
If
first
he is
time?
if he is in the friend zone, you can escape it. It's like you can change a girl's mind about that.
Don't like just like.
Brett was in the friend zone and then escaped it. He was in the friend zone for like 5 years.
Oh, boy.
And then, yeah. And then here we are. So it's definitely escapable.
Have you ever been in the friend zone?
Oh yeah. All the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You haven't. You never were with me. We've been dating since our first date.
Well, I basically started by making fun of you, which is
You were
typical.
Classic.
extremely rude to me on the internet. We met on a message board, and he would
Rude
just
on the
like
internet.
sit there and troll me.
It was
for,
the
like,
online
days on
version of
end.
throwing rocks at her, basically. Like, throwing rocks at the girl in the playground you like. It was the online version of that.
I remember I was giving like advice to somebody to buy a computer. He's like, "Don't take computer advice from girls."
Yeah.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
Strong troll job. Well done.
Yeah. Well, it got me far. So.
But like, first thing is to figure out whether your girlfriend zoning her. I think is like a lot of the times dudes ask about like the friend zone, but make sure that like you're not like automatically deciding like she's my girlfriend, she's going to be my girlfriend. And like recognize that she has boundaries and be vocal about your feelings with her maybe at some point. Like if you're gonna like just
I don't
plant
think
one
that's
on
good
her,
advice.
just
Well,
like
the guys
maybe.
are shaking
No.
their heads no,
It's
Eden.
not good advice. You can't talk a girl into it.
Yeah.
She has to feel something different.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I would if somebody had just like planted one on me out of nowhere and I had no feelings for them,
Out of
then we
nowhere.
would
It
not
gotta
be
a
friends.
little more game than that, but yeah, I think it's. I think for some reason that sneaks up on girls a lot more than like guys' feelings switch. But if he, yeah, no, yeah, if he's 3 months isn't that long, she probably doesn't know exactly how she feels about him, and he should make a move. Scary, just do it.
For the record, he totally did plant one on me, and that's how he got unfriend zoned. So,
Well, yeah, like sometimes it
Um,
takes something like that for the girl to realize, oh, like Brett mentioned, there's like that switch almost that I didn't realize that this is actually like a guy that I could potentially date. Like it's
I'm
just
extremely dense when it comes to recognizing when dudes are flirting with me.
you are
Girls I can
Because
handle,
they all
but like
are. Because you're a girl and you're, fairly tech savvy and probably very tech savvy, probably more than me, and in the games and stuff. Of course, every guy is going to be hitting on you. That's just the way it is.
It is.
Same with her. It's
like she's like, oh, I'm just talking to this guy, and I'm like, Eden, like he's.
as she flips her hair to the side, she's like, "Oh, me? Oh."
I'm like,
Sorry.
he's totally creeping on you. Like he's definitely like printed off your Instagram photos and is looking at them before he goes to sleep tonight. And she's like, No, he just retweeted
He's
like
just a
every
nice
one of my tweets.
guy. Yeah.
He just went through
He just
all
likes my
22,000 of my
personality.
tweets and retweeted
Like,
them.
I don't know if you're just, being oblivious on purpose, being all
little
humble,
bit.
but
A little of the both.
Like,
a little of both.
I don't like to assume that people are flirting with me because it feels extremely egotistical. Even though, like...
Yes, I totally agree with you.
And so I
this.
generally try to just think that, okay, you might be a little bit socially awkward or something and you might be coming across that way, but I'm just not going to believe it until you really prove me otherwise. And sometimes that gets creepy. But I would rather do that and be able to maintain the friends that I do have that aren't actually flirting with me, because if I believed that everybody was flirting with me, we would have a problem.
Missing a lot of dudes that might be trying to get out of the friend zone, though.
yeah.
Oh no.
It's true.
That's why it takes bold moves, gents.
I think that's why the friend zone exists, though. Especially for, like,
Yeah.
girls that might be friends with the people that listen to this show that are interested in video games and stuff. It's just, like, you get so freaking used to people hitting on you that you just don't notice it.
Is it that hard for guys for a girl to be like, oh, like when a guy hits on me, what is the best way for me to let them know that I'm not interested?
Bring up your boyfriend. Done.
Yep.
Okay, what about the girls that don't have boyfriends?
Bring up your fake boyfriend.
Yep. Same
Yeah.
answer.
Or talk about some dude you're into.
Feel free to
Yeah.
use names.
Only a guy who's like really gonna push and very determined is gonna persist beyond that.
So if a girl says like, oh, I just really appreciate our friendship.
Oh, barf. I would be annoyed. I'd take that as a challenge. Accepted. But yeah.
You're a creep.
I don't know. Yeah, a little bit. Guilty.
Yeah. My creep.
No, but like he says, like some guys are persistent, and
Yes.
unless you can just say, "Oh yeah, like I really value our friendship," and he's thinking, "Well, if you value our friendship, you probably will value our relationship even more." And so,
Or you can talk yourself into it.
oh,
like
you
this.
can talk yourself in anything. Like as a guy, yeah. Like,
I have flat out
if you're
said
You
determined-
have to. You don't understand. It's so much different. We have to hunt. It's crazy.
it is, yeah.
Totally different.
It's our primal instincts.
Nobody's like. Nobody's walking up to us and flirting with us.
No,
in
that just does
big
not happen.
numbers at game conferences. It doesn't happen.
I guess.
The one time I thought it was happening to me, I still remember this, and Eden loves this story.
Oh my god, this is right before we started dating.
This was right before we started dating. Literally on the day I flew back into Regina from Ontario, where I was living for the past 4 months. The night I flew back, I went out to a party with my friends. It was my first night back in Regina, and I just threw on some nice clothes. I was wearing a shirt and tie and everything. I was looking all spiffy. I'm like, yeah, I'm back in town. Let's party. Some girl I'd never met before. It was, half the party was full of people I knew. And why are you laughing so hard? Ethan?
I know the ending of the story. and
Control
it's so
yourself
funny.
here.
Must be a good story.
So I knew,
Go on.
it's really not. She's setting bars I cannot reach now. But, half of the people at the party I knew, half I didn't. It was, a good chance to just meet some people. I was there, and some girl came up to me, and she's like, "Oh, I really like your tie. Like, that's really nice." And I'm like, "Oh, sweet. This is going places. Like, I'm back in town. Like, and stuff like this." And then she's like, "Oh, we just got chatting for a while," and she's like, "Yeah, like I really like your tie. Like, where'd you get it? I want to get one for my boyfriend, just like that." And I was just like,
Oh man, dagger to the heart.
it was rough. Like, had that been, the first thing she said, okay, fine. But no, this was after probably 15, 20 minutes of just chatting, and it was,
Chatting.
Oh, that's rude. That is rude.
it was rough.
Ladies, that's rude.
Do not compliment men.
So since then,
that means you
Do
want to
not
get in their
compliment
pants.
men in a flirtatious way for 15 to 20 minutes before bringing up your boyfriend.
Exactly.
Rude.
exactly. Right off the bat, you'd be like, I really like your tie. I want to buy it for my boyfriend. Where'd you get it? That would be fine.
Exactly. Then maybe a guy will probably still be nice and chat with you, but he's not getting ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's better.
Usually, if we're at an event where there's lots of people, if I'm talking to somebody for 3 minutes, I'll usually wave you over to introduce you, just for the barrier thing. This is the boundary. This is my sweet boyfriend. You guys could maybe be friends, and we cannot go to the bedroom. So, I don't know. Friend zone is a weird thing. Do you think that happens for do guys put girls in the friend zone?
No way.
I mean, you hear like guys
No
referring like she's like a
way.
sister to me. Yo, bro.
That's
really
because
rare.
she's denying them, probably.
Really rare. Maybe as a defense mechanism sometimes. Like, yeah, if you expect the girls just rejected you ahead of time, maybe. But most likely, you're just not going to spend that much time with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the friend zone is, to me, it's more of a. It doesn't really happen with guys as much because I don't know. Like I have plenty of friends who are females, but again, since I'm with
who?
Eden, it's kind of different. Like I don't think of them as potential mates. But even if I was single, I wouldn't have two distinct piles of potential mates and then just friend zone friends.
Oh my god, Eden, you are hilarious.
Warren was making hand gestures as he always did for those who are listening and not watching a video, and it looked like he was jerking off two dudes at once.
No, I was placing the females into
Oh,
two
I
separate
missed that.
piles.
Two separate piles, like
Two
this.
separate files.
I was skiing, okay?
I'm sorry.
I think, well, actually, you friend zoned some girls.
Well, yeah, sometimes like if you have like a work relationship that has its own merits, then it makes sense. You just
Keep them in the
hopefully
friend zone.
hopefully there's no like awkward push pull there, and it really is just like you can work with an attractive girl or and not have it feel odd. But in social life, like outside of work, not very often. Not very often. Maybe it'll change. Like Alexis and I've been dating a while, and we're starting to spend time with other couples and stuff. Maybe that'll change when you start. That's more the way you socialize. But I don't know.
Do you guys feel like you hang out with a lot of other couples?
We hang out with a lot of other dudes. So, like, I'm usually more comfortable around dudes because I'm around them all the time. Like, I'm the only girl
That's
in our,
the way
like,
I
tech
feel.
area. I'm at work.
Yeah.
And, like, I went to school with only dudes. So I'm just, like, generally more comfortable. And I'm bisexual, so girls are just, like, usually I'm just, like, I don't know how to deal with you. I don't know what to do. And I just don't have that, like, social concept. So usually we'll hang out with mostly just dudes and Warren's bro friends, my bro friends. There's like rare occasions, like once every 6 months we'll have a double date, and that's about it.
What do you mean that's like awkward, sort of like you don't know what to do?
I never had experience with like hanging out with girls outside of when I was dating them until recently. So it's just like I'm still socially awkward in that realm.
So before you stopped dating girls, did you friend zone girls?
Oh yeah. Well,
did?
you have
Okay.
to, because like if you're attracted to both genders, you
Yeah.
friend zone everybody that you don't want to take to the bedroom. Like
Some defense
otherwise
mechanism, you're
everybody
just
would just like
everyone in the
be
friend zone.
lining up, and it'd be a big problem. But
Eden, you're like a triple threat. You're like super cute girl, really tech savvy, and you're bisexual. Like,
Pretty strong
I give
combo.
up. I'm going back to bed. Like,
Thanks a lot, Alexis. Like she's already having guys basically offer to date her on Twitter. Like, way to just throw more fuel on the fire here.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, I wasn't bisexual, but like talking to Eden, I'm like, okay, hi.
This just got
You just
awkward.
worked your way out of the friend zone there. Wow.
but like also it's not like I go up to girls, and I kind of expect this from like dudes and girls that maybe have that kind of feelings, is like I don't go up to girls and be like, hey, we should have sex. It's more like, hey, let's get to know each other, and maybe there's like a thing there eventually, but I take a long time to decide whether I want to like hang out with somebody beyond being friends.
So if you meet a girl, like you're in a relationship now, but what if you met a girl that you were interested in? Is that something that you guys are open to?
Like a threesome?
A threesome, or just like you like hanging out with this girl alone? Like, is that
No,
like Warren?
we're in a monogamous
That's something that
relationship.
you're okay?
And I'm too jealous to do a threesome. I don't know. This probably wouldn't happen. So
Because Brett tells me it's totally okay if I go out and meet girls. He's like, that's not considered cheating in my book.
but
I don't know. Yeah.
Because
I would be okay with it, I think.
because I've been in relationships with girls before, it would be considered cheating, right? Like, so, and like, I'm out and I feel
That's what
that
I
way.
said. It's like it's considered cheating, but he says no.
I don't know.
But
But you're not bisexual.
I'm not. But I still think it's like a pretty interesting debate, you know, like what some people are okay
It
with.
depends on your rules in your relationship. Like, our personal rules is we're monogamous. I have friends that are in polyamorous relationships, and they have rules like you do not bring another partner back to our house. This is just our place. Or if I'm not okay with that person and I think they're causing you harm in some way, or they're whatever, then you do
Their
not
veto
date them
rights.
outside of a relationship. And they set up those rules beforehand in the polyamorous relationship. And if you break those, that's probably considered cheating, or it hurts in a similar way. But within those rules that you're both okay with, then it's not. And for us, we're in a mono one-on-one
Mono
relationship. So we just
Mano,
so if I was to go like find a girl to hook up with, it'd be cheating. And so I don't.
Okay.
But is that how you feel?
More or less. Yeah.
More or less. What's the more and what's the less?
part?
Did this all start from the friend zone question? I'm still just wondering,
Yes.
like, was this the original question? Okay. So I'm like, how did we spiral off into
This is,
talking about bisexual girls? And
I'm sorry. I have to bring it up all the time.
I know you do. You bring it up. You're like, oh, hi, I'm Eden. I'm bisexual. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Brett used to date a girl that was bisexual.
Was it
Yep.
cheating if she hung out with girls? Or hung out in the bedroom?
It didn't bother me. I was worried about like safety and stuff like that. Strangers or but I it didn't I didn't get jealous feelings about it, and I can't say exactly why. Other than I just imagined. I remember thinking, if she like falls in love with a girl, then like that's just best for, like, I can't compete with that if that's what she wants. And I I don't know, somehow I talked myself into not feeling bad about that, and just kind of being okay with that. But I don't know, that I think that would be a tricky thing, as a relationship just got emotionally closer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always weird. Like, everybody's relationship should be tailored to their own personal comfort levels and tastes and everything else that I don't want to get into. But I think it's more about communication, like where everybody's comfortable at and what feels wrong to the other person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about that stuff when we first started dating.
Yeah.
And it was pretty clear, like, how you felt, like how would you feel if I went and hung out with a lady?
Well, hung out? Like, that's...
Hung out in the bedroom, under the blankets.
Okay, so that's not
naked.
hanging out, like...
Well, there's things that are hanging out.
Not with ladies.
Maybe.
No, I don't know. Like, to me, like, when you're talking about, oh, that's not considered cheating, well, like, cheating isn't just a physical thing. It's more of the emotional as well. Like, if you're thinking of, if you fall in love with a girl, well, I can't stop you from falling in love, but then it's like, well, I guess, what we have probably isn't maybe all that important, or is that getting in the way? Like,
yeah. So,
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be tough. I didn't get there with this previous relationship where it was like, a real sort of emotional tug one way or the other. It was more just physical, and yeah, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, like early on, I didn't even really think of that too much. That wasn't much of a concern. Like, in our first year of dating.
You didn't know early on, though.
Well, no, but in our first, even year or two of dating, it was kind of like, well, we hadn't even been all that serious. But now it's like, okay, we've been together 5 years. We're living together. We're probably going to be together for, a while, if not forever. So.
Oh, do you want to get married?
No, not right now. Stop asking. But like you talk about, yeah, like Brett says, it's different if you're not all that serious. All guys think, oh, a girl and another girl, like, perfect. It's kind of like it's most guys' dreams situation. But when you're emotionally invested in that relationship, and if the girl is emotionally invested in the other girl, then that kind of creates maybe some issues.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's weird. Relationships are weird.
They are very weird.
But you would, I imagine. Well, I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you feel significantly different if she just had an emotional relation, or sorry, a sexual relationship with a girl versus just a guy? Like no emotions either way. But like the guy would be way harder to deal with, right?
I don't think I'd feel any different. To be
Really?
completely
Well, he
honest,
knows like flat out like how I feel about those people though too. So like he knows that like I feel very
you're not gonna be
similarly about
casual
girls as
about-
I do dudes. I'm probably somewhere in the middle in terms of the gay spectrum.
The Kinsey scale, or
Yeah, so like he knows like what that means to me and what those physical relationships mean to me. So yeah.
and I don't know. Again, it's maybe if she wasn't bisexual and has been openly bisexual for several years now, is quite some time, maybe I would feel differently. But to me, yeah, if she whether it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't really matter, because I know she has been with other girls before, and she has been in relationships with other girls before. So if she is now, well, that's, to me, it's no different than a guy. I don't know, but maybe I'm the different one in that case. But
you've been dealing with that. Like I think I told you I was bisexual when we were dating after 6 months. So you've been around that for 4.5 years.
yeah, like it wasn't.
Oh wait, so it took you 6 months to tell him?
I just forgot to tell him. Like we didn't talk about we didn't talk about dating history until then.
It didn't
like,
come up, I guess. I don't know.
It didn't come up, and like we never I guess I'm like his first long-term relationship, and it was just like we never really talked about our history. So it was just like, okay.
I think actually how it came up is we were like watching, I don't know, a movie or something, and I was like, oh, that girl's hot. And Ian's like, yeah, she is. And I was like, what?
Let's go to the next question. So that's how you get out of the friend zone.
So to answer the friend zone question, if you're in the friend zone, if you're treated as a guy, if you're treated more like a girlfriend than a potential boyfriend, you're probably in the friend zone. But you can escape it by just being bold. She might just not have thought of you like that. Give her a reason to think otherwise, and you'll find out pretty quickly if you're still in the friend zone or if you might be able to make the leap.
Yep.
Perfect.
Precisely.
Devin Pitts Rogers asks, what's your favorite V-Day or anti-V-Day traditions? What did we do for Valentine's Day ever? Like, we never really celebrated it all that
really
much. We just hang out with each other.
Yeah, Valentine's Day just feels so forced, I feel like you're forced to be romantic and have this over-the-top evening that's just like, it's not realistic. I don't think I've ever had
I've never had anything I would look back on and go, that was a great Valentine's
Yeah.
Day. Never.
I'm not like a really I'm not the type of person who starts traditions and keeps them ever. I remember like last year we put up our Christmas tree for the first time together, and we ordered Chinese food, and then this year we're like, we're gonna order Chinese food, and then we got too full and didn't put up the Christmas tree, so it broke the tradition. So that's just not us, I guess.
No, I mean Valentine's Day to me
not
is
us either.
like you said, it feels pretty forced. I don't want to feel obligated. Like that's the day, for 364 other days I can just treat Eden like whatever. But for that one day, I have to buy her flowers and chocolates and everything.
Whatever.
So
Get out of here.
No, I mean I feel like I treat her pretty well the rest of the year. We don't need to feel forced that on Valentine's Day we have to go out for dinner and compete with all the crowds, and I have to buy her cards and all this stuff.
Roses, which go up double the price at that for that day.
I think there's actually one time I specifically bought her roses like a month or two after Valentine's Day because frugal Warren, they were like a quarter of the price.
That was for our second year anniversary, and that was in January.
But still, yeah.
That was the first time you
Valentine's
ever
Day
bought
just
me
feels
flowers.
so cheesy.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like over the top cheesy. Like Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, yeah, one or two good experiences could maybe change that, but yeah, not. I mean, 34 this year. I haven't had a great one yet.
Like, if Brett decided to take me to Paris for Valentine's Day, that would by far
That wouldn't be forced. That wouldn't
be the best Valentine's Day ever.
I think I just saw him roll his eyes there.
So do you guys get gifts for each other for Valentine's Day, or like for past partners or whatever?
Sometimes, yeah, we did last year. Sometimes it's little stuff, and sometimes it's not exactly on Valentine's Day. But it's kind of a nice. It's an excuse to do something a little extra nice.
And I think Brett's really good at giving me gifts, like throughout, just like little gifts, throughout the year, and they're super sweet and thoughtful all the time. So,
yeah, like that's the thing. I don't feel like I have to need to wait, and with Eden, it's kind of, I don't have to wait for like birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Valentine's Day, like those kind of holidays to buy her big, expensive, lavish gifts. Which if I did would be pretty terrible because her birthday's in November, Christmas is in December, our anniversary's in January, Valentine's Day's in February. Like that would be like a murderer's row of expensive gifts.
You'd be bankrupt in March.
So
when have you ever been lavish about it? Like, we don't buy each other Christmas gifts. We don't buy each other birthday gifts. We don't buy each other Valentine's Day gifts.
That was hurtful.
You bought me, to be fair, and it was extremely thoughtful. You bought me a tablet the one year. And that's probably the most expensive thing. But usually what happens is, we both want a PS4, so we're going to go buy a PS4, and that's our gift to each other.
That is romantic. Yeah. That is beautiful. I don't have a PS4 yet. Hint.
I'm sorry, what? Our mic went out.
So another anonymous person asks, what does Jimmy want for Valentine's Day? Which I have no clue. Unfortunately, he's not on the show to say. But what does any guy want for Valentine's Day? So if Alexis or I were to buy gifts for you guys, what would you want?
PS4.
I don't even want gifts. I just like a quiet evening where we don't have to please anybody else and just enjoy time together.
Some sweet lovin'.
Yeah, some of that.
Yeah, like maybe it's always tough when people ask me, oh, what do I want? Whether it's for Christmas or birthday or even this for Valentine's Day. Like, there's nothing I feel that I want. If I want something, if it's material, I can go out and buy it. So what do I want for Valentine's Day? I don't know. There's nothing. There's no gift you could give me that I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted for Valentine's Day. Like, yeah, I want a PS4, but I'm not like, oh, if you don't buy me a PS4 for Valentine's Day, like, oh, you're gonna be sleeping on the couch. No, like, there's nothing.
For the audience, I just kissed him on the cheek, and then he just said he wanted a PS4.
But I don't know. Yeah, Valentine's Day is weird because I think it's more. It maybe seems more important when you're just starting out dating, I'll say.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of seems like that's when
That's a good point.
It's almost more significant then, because it's like, all right, this is my one shot here to, show her I really care and how sweet I can be and romantic and stuff like that. But, I mean, now that, we live together and we have been for a few years, we've been together for so long, it's just another day. Like, we go out all the time, and just for random things, we'll have, oh, do you want to, do something nice on Saturday? We'll go for a nice dinner or make a nice dinner together and just have a quiet night and stuff like that. So,
and we buy each other gifts a lot.
Yeah.
I 3 weeks ago. No, a week before our anniversary, which was on January 17th. I just bought him a NFL jersey because somebody was selling it. It was just it was there wasn't a question of whether I should get it for you. It was I'm getting that for you.
Is that
awesome?
Is that the one he's wearing now?
No, that's a different one.
He's been wearing jerseys for Friday, Saturday, and he'll wear one tomorrow because of the Super Bowl because he's a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
And that's also why he's kept this mustache, because he believes that it's good luck.
Well, you know what? Since I've had it, they have yet to lose.
This is from November.
No, they've lost since then. But since I've been keeping it past then, things have been pretty good. So
after they stopped losing and you still had a mustache, that's when they started winning and you maintained the mustache.
I can't wait to shave this.
How do you feel about the mustache?
I don't mind it. It looks good on him. But, like, usually,
I
it's
agree.
like, if he, like, cuddles me, it's, like, itchy. And, like, if he kisses me, it's like I got his mustache up my nose or something. It's just like...
You think it goes up your nose? Oh,
if
man.
you, like, ate something spicy for dinner and you kissed me and I breathe, there's, like, hot sauce right up the nose.
Oh my god.
Having never really had...
I could not deal with that.
Like, I've grown a mustache for Movember before, but having never really had a mustache for this long before... Like, and I've been letting it get pretty long and disgusting and thick for a while now. Like, I used to trim it and keep... But now I'm like, no, it's here for one reason and one reason only, and that's for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. But I am blown away by the amount of liquid it retains. Like... When I eat soup or something like that, like, it's...
Oh my god.
I go through so many napkins when I'm eating a meal now. It's bad.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god. Gross.
Yep.
What is your...
Next question?
Yeah.
Yep, moving
Yeah. I'm blushing a bit hard. What is your perfect Valentine's Day date? So I think we've all kind of established that Valentine's Day isn't that big of a deal to us, but, like, let's just talk about our perfect date ever. You want to just go to a football game. NFL football game. You want to see the Seahawks. You want to hang out in Seattle. And that's it.
NFL season's over on February 14th.
On Valentine's Day.
That's romantic. Yeah.
I don't know, like a perfect Valentine's Day date.
That's an awkward question.
Yeah.
Well, for me.
Oh. All right.
No, she has several answers. She's been waiting. She's just
Paris.
waiting for this question.
Option
London?
1, yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't know, something spontaneous I think would probably be spontaneous and, like, adventure filled, like, something like that would be probably the best Valentine's Day for me. It's just, again, giving you a reason to go and do something crazy,
Yeah.
out of the norm than your everyday.
I want to eat ice cream, pasta, and go rollerblading. And
In February.
Rollerblading?
Yes, in February in Saskatchewan. And rock climbing and bungee jumping. That's it. In order.
That's a lot of risk in a day. I like
Wow.
it.
Heart attack.
How about you?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, if yes, yeah, do something that you feel like would be memorable. A year, 2, 3 out. If it's like, I mean, for we're in San Francisco. I'd be like maybe a nice drive to the beach or out to Big Sur or I don't know. She and I still haven't done like the whole wine touring thing together.
Ooh.
Something like that could be fun.
We do a lot of, like, if we're traveling, we automatically pretty much go to a brewery. That's a lot of fun. Get kind
Yeah,
of
are you guys drinking beer now?
Yes.
Do you guys do
Nice.
distillery tours as well?
Have we?
No, we haven't. There's a few.
That is a blast.
There's a few
I
around
highly
here that
recommend it.
I'd kind of like to. Like, there's one actually really close down in the valley that would
Last
be nice to go
Mountain
see.
Brewery. Or distillery, sorry.
Yeah, there's Alexis and I went to one in is Alameda,
Alameda.
called Hangar. They do like a pretty famous vodka, Hangar One. It's like at an old Air Force base.
Oh, wow.
And so they have this. They're in this literally this old aircraft hangar, and yeah, so they let you try all these very, very cool hard liquors.
You're
and
just wasted by the time you get
It's
out of there.
really
You're
fun.
just like, what?
I am
It's
really
really
bad.
fun.
Like, we were in Vancouver and we went to the Granville Island Brewery. And they gave us, like, 4 samples that were, like, the size of my hand, which is small. And I was wasted by the time we were done. Like, I'm really bad
Yeah.
when it comes to alcohol.
Me too. I'm such a lightweight.
Me too, actually.
But a brewery is a really good date because you don't have to talk to each other, and then you get drunk
Well,
for a reasonable
yeah.
price.
maybe not
and
drunk, but
then
you have a couple drinks
you learn
after.
something. and
Yes.
you don't have to talk to each other.
So Eden's perfect
So I-
date is not talking. So she loves being taken to movies, apparently. I'll sit beside you in 2 hours for silence.
Playing video games together.
Yep.
What's the last video game you guys played together?
Call of Duty.
Really?
Yes, it is.
When?
Together? Like last week? And then before that it was Uncharted we started. First one.
Mm.
And then before that it was Last of Us and The Cave.
Oh.
We play a
You
lot
guys
together,
love The
though.
Last of Us?
What?
Did you guys love The Last of Us?
Yeah, it was one of those games that was really good to like have one person playing and the other person watching.
Watch, yeah.
Because
what we did.
I hid under the blanket for the majority of that game. So
It was really scary, right?
yeah,
it was just
extremely
it was really
scary. We
jumpy.
had, like the gore turned on and I was just not into it.
Yeah,
But-
Eden's very,
Yeah.
like, she'll get scared by things on TV, so we have this really good system of when we play a game like that, she can hide on the couch, like, under a blanket, and I play it, and I'm like, oh, Eden, watch this, like, I'm gonna sneak up on this, oh, no, don't, the clicker.
What did we watch last night that I was doing that? The Following. Which is kind of cheesy, but it's just like,
So
I
cheesy.
can't, like, if, as
I've
soon
heard
as,
that show's really bad.
it's like somewhere in between good and bad.
I feel like it's so bad that we have to PVR it and watch it now.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a bummer. I like Kevin Bacon, but yeah, that it sounds very bad.
He's a strange man. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
He plays Strange very well, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember that there was a movie where he played a pedophile, like extremely convincingly, really scary.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
We've been taking some really dark turns with these questions.
Dark turns.
What was your first date ever like? So I'm guessing it's like your first date when you were a kid and you had never had like a relationship before.
Interesting question.
I remember
Uh,
mine, like there was this guy named David, and I met him at the swimming pool at the community center, and we used to go swimming every day for like the entire summer. And then he
Wow.
asked me on a date, and then he moved away. So
What was the date like?
we went to the swimming pool.
It was just another day.
You just hung out at the swimming pool?
Yeah.
That was the extent of your relationship.
I was like 11. That was my first kiss too. 11.
Wow. Not compete with that.
No. How about you, Warren?
Like, I guess my first date was pretty boring. Like, it was just a movie. I think we had food before that. It was just the kind of typical dinner and a movie. Like, I was probably 15, 16, somewhere around there. It was just what everyone does around that time. I don't know. Nothing special.
Alexis? What was yours?
Well, I wasn't allowed to date till a lot older, so for like the first like couple years of high school, I had to do stuff in groups, you know.
Yeah.
So we'd go out to. I lived in LA, so we'd go out to like a place called City Walk as groups, and then go to like the movies and have dinner. But like you'd sit next to the guy that that you liked, and you just awkwardly sit there and be like, "Oh my god, I'm sitting next to him." Like a ton of inner monologue, which was sort of a date, but it was just all like inner, like inside yourself with this whole conversation. Is he watching me? Is he not watching me? Should I look at him? So I didn't really go on my first date till I was 16. I don't even remember my first date, to be honest, like one-on-one date. So I really liked him, clearly. You?
When I was about like 10 or 11, like 5th grade-ish, I remember.
5th grade?
Well,
That was my age.
Listen.
The cool thing to do with girls was go, like, everybody would go roller skating, like go to this big roller skating rink, and it was like most people would go to this on like Friday or Saturday night, and it was sort of a group activity, but there was a couple skate, and if you did the couple skate together, that was kind of a big deal.
Oh, that's so cute.
So that was probably my first, like, I guess it was probably a 3-minute date, but doing couple skates with girls.
Brett, as a kid, was so cute. His mom sends me pictures of him as like a kid, and he looked like a child actor. He was so cute.
Okay.
I like the look on his face. Is like, wait, my mom's sending you pictures?
Like, Mom, I don't need help. Please stop.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mom.
I don't know if it's to play mental games with me or not. She's like, it's my baby boy. Like, take care of him. You know.
What was? You should tell the story of our actual first date, like you and me.
Of our first date?
Yeah,
Why should I tell it?
because you're funnier.
Well, true. I'll agree with you there. Well, our first date, like she said, we met, I guess, on the internet. I was just moving back into town, and so we had several, mutual friends in common. So, and we had been to some concerts. I've been to the same concert you were at, but we just didn't really know each other at the time, or we had maybe even said hi, but didn't really know each other all that well. So when I first moved back, it was around Christmas time, and so in January there was a concert that we both wanted to go to, and we thought, well, let's go together for once. And so we actually went, and we went out for dinner first, and we had some delicious burritos
At Taco Del Mar.
at Taco Del Mar. Yes, it
Nice.
was very romantic. And after eating some burritos, we went to
A punk show.
a punk hardcore concert. Very, very small venue in town. There was probably 40, 50 people there, tops.
It was like in this youth center church thing called the Buffalo Lounge.
It was in this gym attached to a church, which is kind of like a youth center here. And yeah, it was very, very romantic. And then after that, we went Tim Hortons. And
Our date
had
sounds so Canadian.
it was a very Canadian date. Yeah, burritos and a punk show and Tim Hortons. And we had coffee after that.
And I was
Okay,
living
so
in
you want the
Yorkton
date
at
to
the
keep
time,
going.
which is 2 hours away. So I was only here every other weekend. So the next morning we went for breakfast at Denny's, which we wouldn't eat at now, I don't think. But it was extremely concentrated for the first 6 months because we'd try to hang out with each other as much as possible every other weekend. So it was just kind of a weird thing. But you were pretty happy when I moved here.
Yeah.
Probably texting a lot and doing all that stuff in between.
35
messages
texts.
a
Did
day.
you send
At
him?
least 35 a day, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I sent Brett 35 a day.
That was when
In the first
MSN
hour I
was a
wake
big
up.
deal. So we would MSN message each other, and for a while, until I switched computers, I had all the transcripts of our first 6 months.
That's awesome.
Awkward.
He's like, no.
I still remember 2 years later, she's like, let's go back and read these. I'm like, no, let's not.
Did you guys have a solid first date that you can remember, or?
Yeah, well, Brett and I knew each other for years beforehand, and we would always, there was this other couple that we were good friends with, and we'd always just end up together doing stuff like a double date, but we weren't dating, we were just
both third
friends.
wheels.
Yeah. So I think we'd been on a lot of first dates before our actual first date together. But we went to brunch, and then we went to Dolores Park. And then later that night, we went to we met up later that night.
Ooh.
Just couldn't
2
get enough.
dates in a day.
Yeah. And we went to a wine bar, and that's where he planted it on me. So that was our first date. It was
Yeah.
cute. It was fun.
It was still memorable.
Yeah.
Anonymous asks, on that note, should you kiss on the first date?
Yes.
We did.
Yep.
We made out in your car afterwards because I was 17 and really cool.
Yeah, I think I actually, when I was going to drop you off at your dad's house, I think I actually parked probably 3 houses away.
Really
So I wasn't right in front of their windows, so that if they looked out, they wouldn't really see us.
Yeah.
And then
Good
we
move.
kissed for a while, and then I drove up and dropped you off closer to your house.
But it was funny because we were kissing, and I asked if you wanted to keep dating or be my boyfriend or whatever
Right after?
during. And then he didn't hear me, so he didn't answer.
I did not
And
hear
then
her at all.
Like-
He
He
sent
didn't
me
hear
an email the next day.
No, it was on MSN.
Okay,
Much-
MSN, and
much
I am
better.
so much better.
Yes.
It's do you want to be my girlfriend?
Oh my god, that's cute.
That is cute.
So kiss on the first date because it's awkward
Yeah.
and hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it all depends if you really like the person. When you really like the person, all rationale goes out the window, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If it's,
Agreed.
I mean, if it's like a catastrophic first date, then you might not. Just you don't feel like, oh, I have to kiss them. It's a date. But I don't know if you like them, like why not? It's gonna be awkward if you're just like, oh, a nice little hug or like a handshake at the end. Like it just seems kind of weird. Like yeah, if you like them, why not kiss?
When I was in high school, I went on a blind date, which you shouldn't do when you're in high school. That was stupid. But this guy, I guess, like found our yearbook at his friend's place and was like, "That girl's a babe," and our mutual friend was the one who owned the yearbook, so he set us up on a date. And this guy, I was vegan at the time, and he did not stop talking about hunting.
Pete? Oh.
And like he would not stop. And then he dropped me off at home, and it was before I could drive even. And he came up to my door and he's like, "Can I have a hug?" And I was like, "Nope." And I went right inside.
Oh,
I
harsh.
was kind of a dink, but
Were
like,
you getting along on other levels, or was that the main thing?
no, it was super
Yeah.
awkward. Like he talked about
Wow.
hunting and his truck, and that was like the entirety of the date. Was like me,
Ugh,
like
sounds
Sounds
awful.
awful.
yeah. But
Guys, don't do that.
don't
Don't
talk
do
about hunting when you're dating a vegan or vegetarian.
Or your truck.
Yeah.
Girls don't care about your truck.
Yeah.
Girls, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
save
know.
that
I don't
for
think
later.
anybody really cares about your truck. Unless they ask about your truck. Don't talk about your truck, you weirdo.
Oh, poor guy. Hope he grew out of it.
There are several things not to talk about on your first date. I would say your truck is one. Like,
Politics.
if you play fantasy sports, like not the time to bring it up. Like sure, we have common interests now with that, but I would not bring up, oh, I am in so many fantasy football leagues right now.
I hardly have time for any other hobbies.
Like not
Are you big into fantasy
Both
football?
I
of
am,
us
yeah.
are.
Oh,
You
that's
guys
awesome.
both are?
Yeah.
Do you guys have fantasy football insurance?
Yes, that's exactly what I
What?
was gonna ask.
America? What
We're-
is going on?
So we were out in Wyoming and we were listening to a bunch of NPR podcasts, and there was this story about how it's like a common new development, people selling insurance in fantasy football leagues in case like like one of your best players gets injured or something like that, and you can re-up. I don't know if it means you replace the player or if you get to do it, restart the team. I don't know how it works, but it's common now.
No, I do not have fantasy football insurance. But that would have saved me in at least 2 leagues this year had I had it.
Yep.
Good memory.
America.
America.
I have a
Those-
feeling
those are
there's
good.
gonna be like so many giggles in this, like the giggle to talking ratio in this
Yeah.
podcast is probably ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Yes, we do.
Excellent.
What is your boyfriend or girlfriend's greatest weakness?
Mm.
That's a tough question to be putting on a couple on the spot.
Yeah.
His is pizza.
That was the safest
That was
answer,
pretty
Eden.
safe. Yeah, that was pretty safe.
Yeah, Eden's are definitely cats.
Yeah. Partially because
You're
I love
weak.
them so much, and partially because I'm so allergic to them that I go to the hospital if I get
Like they are
Uh,
literally your weakness.
Going first.
I would think
Mine could be pizza too, but yeah.
If
wasn't
I
the
offer
first
you
thing that came
pizza,
to
you
mind.
don't say no.
Well,
That's like
no.
the only thing you never.
I never say no to pizza either.
Who does? Like
Yeah.
show
Pizza's like the best thing.
He's like, who
Yeah.
does?
You got something.
If
a little
that's the
wrong with
case,
you.
then chocolate for Brett.
Mm.
Yes,
Maybe.
definitely.
Cilantro is
I
a
don't
thing for you. If I just like gave you a bushel of cilantro.
How about we wipe out food?
Yeah, I was like, we're only
let's make
focusing
the
on
question
food.
way
Okay.
harder. Foods is like, is that really a weakness? It's
Okay.
gonna keep you alive. It's food. Tough question. That's
Hmm.
maybe we should answer like, what do you think Like maybe we should answer for ourselves instead. This is hard to put your like partner on the spot. Like what do you think is your greatest weakness?
Okay, so like for me,
And
I don't want kids, but if I see him playing with kids, I'm just like melted. Like I do not want kids, and that is
You're like,
very
let's
clear.
do this.
But I'm just like, oh man, my ovaries are just telling me that this is the one person that I need to be with for the rest of my life.
All right, I'll keep that in mind next time I hang out with my nephews.
Hard.
All right, so next time I play with my nephews, I'll be like, "Oh, is Eden around? Good, okay."
That's funny.
How about you, Warren?
I don't know what my greatest weakness would be. I'm a pretty strong-willed person, so I don't really feel like I have many weaknesses, but I mean, like I said, with Eden as cats, me it's dogs, maybe. So if I see dogs or Eden playing with dogs or, a cute little puppy, I'm a dog person. What can I say?
Your greatest weakness, like the one thing that makes you really happy to date me and very excited about my ovaries, is when I play with puppies.
Who brought up your ovaries? You did. The question did not mention
brought
your
up your ovaries. Okay. Mine's probably when Brett does stuff like domestic stuff. When I see him folding laundry or doing the dishes or like cooking or just like organizing stuff, I'm just like, whoa, that is hot. Like that's someone like, I don't know. I guess being an equal and a partner is just really, I'm just like, oh, that's someone I can see like going through life with.
Yeah. You're pretty domestic too, compared to me.
Yeah, like I guess I'm kind of in.
It's hot. Let me tell you, it is like such a turn on to see guys like step up in the household and just like, it's nice. I think it's really nice, and it's a huge turn on for me.
Yeah, like I guess I'm kind of in a similar situation to Alexis there, where like I do all the dishes, I do most of the cooking, I do most of the laundry.
You
so
do
I guess
your own laundry. You don't do my laundry.
Similarly, when I see you actually like cleaning up and like organizing something or putting stuff away, it's like, oh, that's actually kind of like really nice of her. I'm not gonna say, oh, that's hot, but it's kind of like
that's hot, babe. You keep doing those dishes. You load that dishwasher. You clean up that fridge.
But yeah,
I love it. I call it lady porn. So I think it's because it's like a more sensitive side. I don't know. I think. How about you?
It's weird. It's like I feel like I was thinking in a different category. Like I was thinking about stuff that that like just things about myself that I'm not so proud of, or that just like wish I could snap my fingers and change. And I'm actually a pretty introverted person. Like I have a kind of extroverted job in some ways, but I don't love getting like going to parties and stuff like that, or you kind of being out in the bar and trying to mingle with a bunch of people. I struggle with that, but I know Alexis really likes it, so I try when I can, but it's hard.
I'm a social butterfly, folks.
She is, yeah, and she enjoys it, and a lot of times I don't. So I try and find things to enjoy about it, but that's so in that respect, that's probably the one thing. Like if I could snap my fingers and change something about myself, that would be it. But like, what makes me sort of weak and like want to do anything for this girl? Oh, geez.
Tell me.
But Alexis has one of the brightest, friendliest, sweetest moods in the morning, which is like the opposite of me. Because like until I feel like I have enough sleep, I'm kind of cranky. But it's just wonderful to start the day with her, because she's just got a super pleasant mood and demeanor almost all the time.
Thanks, hun.
Well,
that's awfully cute.
That was our last question, which we've gone on for like an hour and 15 minutes, but
yeah,
I'm
oh my
sad
goodness.
about it. Well, thank you to everybody who has been listening. And
Yeah, thank
so
you,
where
guys.
can people find you, Alexis?
They can follow me on Twitter at Let's Get Lexi, and they can also follow me on Instagram for some fabulous selfies.
And make sure to like
They're
every
not
single
as good
one.
as Eden's, but be sure to like every single one, and be sure to like Eden's as well. Or you can find me on IGN.com. And yeah.
How about you, Brett?
You can usually find me at Sight Glass in the morning. There's a coffee shop around the corner from where I live. Yeah, and I'm on Twitter as RELYES. My last name backwards. I'm not that clever.
And Warren?
Yeah, I guess I have to spell my Twitter handle out as well. It's at WRYBERG. It's Ryberg, so first initial, last name. It rolls off the tongue so well.
You're extremely creative.
Yeah.
Not quite so much as
No,
Brett.
I didn't even flip it around, so it was even less creative, I guess.
And you can find the podcast at Jimmy and Eden Podcast on Twitter, and you can go to jimmyandeden.com and see all of our news and all of the latest episodes. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Eden the Cat, or on Facebook, I'm Eden Does Stuff, and YouTube, I'm Eden Does Stuff. As well as you can follow Jimmy, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, at Jimmy Champagne on Twitter and jimmychampagne.com and randomhavoc.com. And he put up his very first article on IGN this week. So
yeah, congratulations to Jimmy, too. Yeah. That's huge. I'm so stoked for him.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him. So congratulations, Jimmy. We're all extremely proud of you for getting your dreams and putting them in your basket. And we hope to hear from you guys next week. And if you want to ask us any questions, you can send them in to Eden at jimmyandeden.com. And we will answer them on the show next week, as well as we read out your ratings and reviews on iTunes if you send them in. So thank you very much and have a great week.